Oh, baby! It's time to take over Ball Arena.
Let's go, baby.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show. Presented by Bet365. Never ordinary. Not today. Not ever. Please. Also, what time is it? Miller time. Presented by Miller Lite.
Doctor.
I have a feeling at the DNVR Bar, this very bar, there's going to be a lot of Miller Lights consumed tonight.
Oh, flowing like the
river. Who's going to drink?
Presented by Miller Lite.
We should do a Who's Gonna Drink segment tonight. You're right.
It's Brendan again.
It is, folks. Spoiler alert. On today's show, the Nuggets are hosting the Utah Jazz in tank mode. We're going to talk about that game and preview it. Also, statement week's over?
Bro. What
are we going to do with ourselves?
Is there
anything else to play for?
What are we in right now? Do we know? We're going to try to define whatever it is the next chapter of the Nuggets season is. You know, I love chapters of a season. I just love it.
The first chapter book you read defined the rest of your life.
It's so true. That's very true. And then the Jazz timeline. Like, what's going on with the Jazz? Are they a threat next year? They're not a threat this year. Are they a threat next year? So far away we can't even worry about it. We're going to debate all those things and make money for everybody. But first, let me introduce the panel. Straight from the Dutton Ranch, Brendan Vogt.
The Utah Jazz, my sixth least favorite team to lose to.
Ooh.
The Utah Jazz.
Oh, that's right. You actually had them 5. You took them off.
Do you know why? Because the Nuggets sneaky lose to the Jazz a lot.
I know.
It's really annoying.
It's really tight. When we found out that the 7 was the only time they beat them in Utah, I was like, wait, what? That was the only time?
I was like, that was a long time ago.
That was really interesting. Also, straight from the Dutton Ranch, it is D-Line Co.
I know. I've been shoveling hay and... but I'm ready for this game, guys. I'm ready for this game, ready to take over Ball Arena. The homies are in the building. Ready to drink with them. Let's go.
Straight from the Bunny Ranch, it's Superstar Dev.
You look fresh.
The Bunny Ranch. I mean, this is a takeover. You could get to the arena at 7. You get to the arena at 8. Who knows? But the Nuggets will be on at some point during that time frame. So make it 7:30.
What the heck?
Yeah, we're confused at the start time of this game. We're
very confused. The NBA told us it was 8 o'clock.
You want to know the wild thing? I got on the timeline, like, after I posted it. Everyone else was confused. No one knew what time the game was at.
What's the deal here? Did they move the time at some point?
I think it was a daylight. I think somehow they forgot to account for daylight savings time.
It's tomorrow. It's not happened yet.
Oh, wait.
That's not what it is. I'm wondering if this game got moved off of national television or something. And then they just then they changed it back. So I don't know, man. Very strange. Hopefully nobody misses the bus tonight. I have a feeling somebody will. Hopefully nobody misses the game.
You know what? We can only be worried about so many things in this life.
Man, I'm worried about all of it.
Better double check.
We got to double check. All right, let's go ahead and check out our game notes presented by Brendan Vogt.
As of right now, as of this very live moment in time, live on the show, and of course it's actually only 4:47 p.m. Mountain Time. That's relevant because here's your injury report as of right now. Nikola Jokic, probable with a right arm contusion.
Arm, not elbow.
Arm is what's on the injury report. Is it the elbow? I don't know, Adam.
Well, he was asked about his elbow. I think it's tricep, because then I saw him doing, did you guys see him on the bench doing that's like a tricep. You're using your tricep and giving some resistance.
This is like when we had to decide whether or not the foot was part of the ankle, or the ankle was part of the foot or part of the leg. The elbow, part of the arm.
Well, don't you, it's actually even more like adductor versus abductor. Do you remember when we had to we learned that those were different things?
Yeah. Those were tough.
Shout out Gary Harris.
Those were tough. Yeah, Will Barton, Gary Harris, our ultimate medical instructors.
Haven't heard those words in a long time. Thank God. Knock on wood. Knock on all the wood.
I was like the worst, man. What a spell. Taylor Hendricks is out for the Jazz. Walker Kessler is available. Right foot sprain was on the injury report. He's available, though. Lauri Markkanen is out. Right quadricep contusion. Otto Porter Jr.
Nuggets by 1,000.
is not with the team. Then they got a couple of G League fellas out. And, of course, friend of the show, Vlatko Cancar, is out as well. There's your injury report. Here's your update on the Utah Jazz. 12th right now out west. 28 and 35. 16 games behind first. Don't think they're going to win first, fellas. Don't think they're going to catch them.
I don't think so.
2-8 in their last 10. They are really gearing down here as the season winds down. And they are 9-23 away from home. So this is be a professional, take care of business game for the Denver Nuggets. Play responsibly here, because this is one you don't want to drop as you're chasing the Thunder here down the stretch.
So after a trap game is
The Suns.
no. Well, I'm saying is the game before the big game. But what's the game after? Is it also a trap game?
Letdown
game.
Letdown game.
I guess so.
Just straight letdown. I mean, to me, that is my only concern coming into tonight's game. Letdown energy, because that last game, man, they're still talking about it on the timeline.
True.
Not Nuggets fans. Everybody's still talking about it. That one had a tail on it. But there's a game tonight against a team that's kind of uninspiring. Is there a letdown tonight, Dev?
So with those, like, I don't know if it's a letdown in the sense of you're going to lose, but it's more so you're not playing to that same intensity, the
No
same
way you
capacity
could.
of just wanting to go out and dominate. And I think that most people are looking, beyond that. There's no way you're looking at Utah, especially without marketing, and you're saying we're going to play hard. So yeah, they can come up and they can sneak up on you. So you have to hit early, so that you're not in a dogfight all night. And the Nuggets have found themselves in those spots more often than not.
See, my thing is that the letdown games usually happen the next day, or short. There's enough of a time for your brain to recharge itself and to reload on all of the chemicals it expended during that really emotional outpouring. So I don't think so. I mean, I feel like the page has sufficiently turned for the Denver Nuggets that this will just be another game they can kind of go in. I'm hoping, obviously, they've been happy to prove me wrong in this regard many times over my fandom, but I feel to me this is there's enough of a buffer that it shouldn't really play in. We'll see.
Doesn't it feel like the kind of game that last season you go, thank goodness they have Bruce Brown, because maybe other people's energy could be down, but ideally in a perfect world, 1 to 2 guys come in off your bench and are a spark plug in a game like this, because the guys that do get to play for Utah are going to play hard. They're going to play hard, and that'll just be Denver's challenge. And so can Christian Brown, can Peyton Watson, can they play just as hard? If the starters have a slow stint in the first, can the bench kind of help show them the way again in the second quarter? Because if not, it could be a much longer night than we hope. Again, you got to like Denver's chances, especially with tight in clutch time, but hopefully there's no clutch time because you're better than this team.
It is always weird, though, when a guy's out that's the main guy. It's Lauri Markkanen. So a game plan is we got to stop Lauri Markkanen, everything they do. When you go away from it, it's almost like I don't know who they are. It's like preparing for the Nuggets without Jokic. They're definitely worse, but I don't know how they're going to play. Usually it's Jokic every time, and so I do think that that's one variable here. Shouldn't be an excuse. They're so much better and more talented than this team, then even that should be overcome. But it is always my little concern whenever you have these games like this. Does a team understand what they're supposed to be doing defensively?
Well, and you're talking about a team in Utah that has a guy like Jordan Clarkson who loves getting the opportunity to step up and be the man. So this is truly his opportunity to shine. So I mean, I don't know. I don't want to spoil the bet segment, but looking on the other side.
On the other side of things, though, it might be pretty good. All right, it's time for Who's Gonna Eat, presented by Circle K. Every time we do this, I look over to see if we restock the shelf. We have never restocked the shelf.
Who's going to eat us again?
Again, we're going to eat again.
Recklessly.
I hope not all of us. 3 of us would have to, based on that
to
shelf.
be honest, I've never had anything from this.
Me neither. Well, I've had it when other people have taken a taste, but...
Why did we decide it was okay for people to eat our decorations?
I don't know. I always start over there. I'm going to mix things up today. I'm going to start over here and let you have first crack at this.
Dude. Thank goodness.
Who's going to eat tonight?
Well, there are 2 forwards out, and the center is John Collins. I'll save
Walker
the big
Kessler.
fella because I took... That's right. They have Walker Kessler as well. I'll save the big fella for you guys. I took him last game. Worked out for me.
He did eat last game.
I'm going to go with Aaron Gordon, though. I'm going to go with Aaron Gordon, who should be able to bully his way around, stalk from the dunker spot the way he typically does. It's going to be hard enough for them to keep Jokic off the glass, keep him contained one-on-one. And that was just the beautiful thing of Gordon in that Celtics game was all their energy went to how do we stop this guy? And then, there's Aaron Gordon stalking, creeping behind, cleaning up misses. He has all the room in the world to do that again tonight. And I bet he's feeling himself after 3 sick highlights in that win.
4.
Well,
hold on. I remember there being 4, so let's just count them out. He had the reverse oop where he cut in reverse.
Sure did.
The below the ankle dunk, the off the backboard dunk, and then the last play, the finisher, the finale oop.
That's right.
4.
So I just think Aaron Gordon's in a good spot right now, and I think this matchup kind of clears the way for a similar dynamic to manifest.
Can I, by the way, just to interject here,
Sure,
has anybody had a better glow up than Aaron Gordon? You guys see the timeline the last 2 days has been Aaron Gordon's the greatest role player the NBA's ever seen. Like, and that's great. I'm actually happy for him. He deserves it. But it is funny that he went a route that usually is away from fame. I'm going to step down my role, and it's working out the opposite. It's actually making him more respected and liked.
There's like a seasonality to Aaron Gordon respect. This happens at the end of every year where they're like, "Oh man, what a trade! We forgot all about him." Like, and then they just the next season
Then they forget about him.
forget about him.
Well, it only comes with winning. When they start losing, he becomes like
The
not the scapegoat, but it's like you got to learn how to make a shot, or you got to knock some free throws down. So like when winning's there, Aaron Gordon is a big reason for it as well, and he takes that glow.
I like it. Who's gonna eat?
I'm still on Jamal, man. We are in the portion of in the stretch. We are in the portion of the season where the end date is clear. You can feel it. It's palpable. Something deep inside Jamal Murray has been awakened. I have a hard time imagining him not eating any game moving forward, especially when at home.
Man, I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I think I'm right.
I hope you are. I am less confident. I feel like Jamal, of all people, is the one that's like, we proved it,
It's
man.
entirely possible.
Also, here's what happened. Last game, Boston, big game.
Yeah.
Next game, Toronto. His hometown team. This is right in between for, I don't know, it could be.
We'll see. We'll see. That was before All-Star break. This is after All-Star break. We are
The new
officially
Murray.
in chapters matter.
I like
said this.
You've always said that.
I want to thank Vogt for keeping the big man alive, man. I'm going with Reggie Jackson.
Whoa!
This is going to be a Reggie Jackson game. I think he
Yo.
has a good game, and he
That's
really
wild.
needs a good game. Utah is a tanking team. This is a team that you try to get your backup unit right. You try to get your backup point guard right. So I'm not saying he has a monster 25-point game or anything like that, but I think that he looks like himself, like what we saw at the beginning of the year. I'm going with Reggie Jackson. He's going to eat tonight.
I'm going to go with Dev on this one. Go to the bench because it feels like a game that most matters for the bench. I'm going to go with Christian Brown is eating
Hold
tonight.
on. Are we, as a panel, saying Jokic
Yeah,
is
I'm going to
not going
circle
eat
back
tonight?
and take Jokic.
No, Yoke eats every night,
He
guys.
eats
Come
every
on,
night.
come on. He
He
eats every
does.
night. It's especially eats. Even last game, Yoke especially ate. But some games, you're like, I said he was going to eat. He had 25, 10, and 9. You're like, that's his exact average. That's not eating. That's just a regular meal. He did not overeat. But I know I want to stick with the bench because I actually, to almost get ahead of ourselves with this next one, I think the bench plays a big role. You could pick Peyton, you could pick Christian. I just flipped a coin in my head and went with Christian tonight. I will be taking his 0.5 threes tonight.
Will you?
I'm going to be taking that because I think it hits. I might even buy it up to 2 threes.
Ooh, you get to see it in
Ooh.
person.
I'm telling you, man, I might see 2 Christian Brown threes tonight.
That counts as eating.
That would count.
No, that's
That's stuffed, man. He would be unbelievable. I think the bench goes hard. Which brings us to this next chapter. We've had a lot of good chapters. We've had Statement Week.
Sure.
What was the other week we had?
We had Narrative Week and then Statement
we
Week.
had the
and then-
opening little bit.
Yeah.
We
the
had
beginning, and then we had the middle.
we had middle. Yeah, that's right.
We had that week before the All-Star break where everyone decided we stink.
We had the 12 days of Yokemas. We had a lot of different chapters. We're starting a new chapter because Statement Week is, you don't make a statement against the Utah Jazz without their best player. I have a nomination for it. I actually think they play every other day for the next month. If you look at starting right now, March 9th, and by the way, daylight savings tomorrow, I should have worked that into my take. That would have been a really good one.
Yeah, dude.
Although I will say that, and then it goes all the way till March 25th, which is, as everybody knows, right around the equinox.
Of course.
Everybody knows that.
It's
Everybody.
very celestial.
Why say it?
Why
We all
even
know
say it? Because everybody knows. I think playing every other day for basically the entire month of March, I think this is the rhythm stretch. The Nuggets need to find a playoff rhythm. It's no longer about the ceiling. They're not trying to reach their ceiling. They're playing a bunch of teams, Utah, Toronto, San Antonio, Portland, Memphis. They have some duds in here. You just need rhythm. This has to become just like we're churning them out. Every 48 hours we play a game. We do the exact same thing. We find a rhythm. That's what I think this next stretch is about.
Definitely, this is the rhythm stretch. I like that we're moving in. I mean, this is the playoff stretch. Like this is getting into the official stretch run for the entire NBA and developing the right habits, starting to play in ways that are meaningful and will be, will translate to the biggest moments, which are just around the corner. I think that's exactly right. It's just like training themselves and getting their minds right.
If they succeed at this rhythm stretch, this rhythm chapter, Dev, if they succeed, it means that they were consistent every night. Maybe they didn't have that game that you were like, that's the best team in the world, but they didn't have a game where you were like, that team is underachieving. It's just perfect. They get the job done. Rhythm.
No, for sure. I think that this next chapter is, I think it's about GOAT talk. There's going to be, yeah, I really do. I think that, there's only been 8 guys that have won 3 or more MVPs.
Ooh.
This is the stretch that Jokic gets to lament himself, like in the history books of being number 9, to get that 3 MVPs. This is a crucial stretch for that. How Denver plays, if they get into that rhythm, it just puts him exactly where he's at, because he's in a pretty close race with SGA. SGA is going to keep putting up those numbers. Will Jokic, or do they settle down, or do they slow him down? So if he consistently plays the way that he's been playing all year, number 9 on that list.
Yeah, I think they take the 1 seed. I think this is
that's another storyline.
I think this is the dust clears, the dust settles, and wouldn't you know it, it's the Nuggets in first out west. And if that does play out after statement week going the way we hoped it would, 2-0 against the Celtics, I know not everyone is comfortable with this. I think there might be a lot of, it's Denver again. It's Denver again until proven otherwise. I agree with you guys. I think playing every other day is Denver's sweet spot.
Yep.
We talk about, they played too much. Sometimes they come a little rusty when they've had a little too much rest. But when you're playing every other day, you're not overthinking it. You're in a rhythm. Jokic is in a rhythm, as he has been. I think just things come together right now as they have been for the last couple of weeks.
I like that. So you're right. I think that we're kind of both right in this, that it's going to be about rhythm. The Nuggets, can they find it? Can the bench find a rhythm is going to be a big piece of it.
That's a big
Can those guys find their own rhythm?
First time all year, I think they can, by the way.
But you're right that there is a secondary storyline, which will be a more immediate and obvious should they keep winning, which is the taking over the ascension to the 1 seed. And again, this is the stretch to do it. Utah and Toronto at home, at Miami, San Antonio at home, at Dallas, at Minnesota, tough little 2-game stretch, New York at home, Portland, Memphis. That's like half of those teams are tanking, half of them. So half of them you just penciled in. And then there's a few tough games in there, at Miami, at Dallas, at Minnesota. Those are test games, but it's not like they're happening on back-to-backs. It's not like they're happening on that. They should be able to gear up for them. So I think they're both kind of true. Is there something like rhythm and ascension? There's something there.
No. It feels like a church thing.
Rhythm and ascension. That's right.
Rhythm
I like
and
it.
ascension.
Yeah, it's like a choir, like a hip-hop choir. Yeah.
Sounds right, man.
Rhythm and ascension.
The Utah Jazz, you guys. Oklahoma City Thunder, clearly the team of the future. Young group of guys. You know, they're already winning.
Lakers team of the past.
Lakers team of the past. Warriors team of the past. Then you look at Minnesota. Unclear exactly what their timeline is. Probably like Denver's. It's now, and we'll see how much longer. Portland and Utah are the 2 teams that I look at, and I go, I don't think Portland's going to be good for a while. They might just be stuck in hell. Utah, Markkanen's good. They have some interesting players, and mostly they have picks. But if you're building around picks, man, we're not talking about 2-3. I can't think that far in ahead. No. Do you look at them, Dev, and say this is a team that the Nuggets are going to have to start being concerned with in the near future? Or is their future so far away they're not even a thought?
I think their future is so far away, it's not a thought.
Wow.
Because I really don't think that they have a young player to build around, or like somebody that could change things around. If you're going off of picks, it's going to take a while for that
Real
to
long
matter.
time.
And you don't have a superstar to like pair it with. If you had a superstar, you could use those picks, you could get another superstar. That changes things. The Jazz don't have that. And as good as Markkanen is, you don't build around Markkanen. I really think he should get out of there. Utah's not a team that I really worry about in any way.
Yeah, they're a little. It's funny because it felt like they were in a rebuild, but they're tanking again. So they're not quite. It's unclear where they're at. They have so many picks though. Like, if I were them, I would try to get like a LaMelo Ball or a team that like a
Can you imagine LaMelo in Utah?
I mean, I can't imagine.
That's a hilarious.
But I would.
It would be like Shador in Colorado.
Yeah, basically.
I like a redraft kind of guy, though, right? Like, take another.
Like, there's a guy.
He's too good for a second draft, though.
Yeah,
but my point is that they have enough picks they could make that happen. Where they could, like, if you pair those two, I'm just saying, like, that caliber of player that is on another team that thought they were rebuilding, and they just have a guy whose their timeline is not matching up with.
Do you know who I think who comes to mind when you say that?
Who?
You're gonna hate this. Jalen Green, who I would never take a flyer on, but if you're looking at a second draft guy, number 3 pick,
Yeah.
the Houston's done with him because he sucks.
How old is he?
I know,
too?
but
he's like 21.
Jalen Green would go to Utah and suck even
The thing
worse.
about the Hornets is that they were actually like going someplace, and then the Miles Bridges thing, and it completely disrupted them. I'm just saying, like,
Brandon Miller looks really good though. I think LaMelo and Miller.
but what I think that the Jazz should do is they should use their picks rather than starting completely from scratch over.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a guy like Markkanen, you can get somebody else on his timeline that is that caliber of player, and then you could also supplant it with young guys. Like, we'll see what they do. Danny Ainge is he just loves picks. He doesn't do anything with them, so we'll see.
I think Dev might be right. Like they're in a no man's land. You know when it like the light turned yellow, but you're cruising 45, and you're like, I'm not going to brake here, but it's going to go red at some point while I'm crossing. They're just in that. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. Collins and Markkanen are each 26 years old, just young enough you could talk yourselves into it, but also by the time things materialize with a next wave of prospects, Walker Kessler flourishing, whoever you hope to draft in the future, does that line up? It's kind of tough. Here's the other thing. Remember how the East operated during LeBron's stretch for about 10 years? If you weren't the Toronto Raptors, what the hell was the point?
Right. Chicago made a stab at it. Pacers made a stab at it. But most teams were like, we're not close.
So if I'm the Jazz, why am I in a rush to compete with Jokic?
I love the take. I don't think anybody feels that way, but I love the perspective.
Should.
I love it.
Well, they have the Walker Kessler. They could look at what Minnesota has done and try to get another big man to put next to him. Like, they at least have like some hope of like trying to at least contend with them a little bit.
Walker Kessler's good. I think Walker Kessler is a legitimately good defensive. I mean, he is horrible on offense.
I completely agree.
But defensively, he's one of the rare. I'm curious to see how he and Yoke match up tonight. Obviously, Yoke can murder anyone, and let alone freaking 21-year-old Walker Kessler. But he is long, and that is his value, is his length. I'm curious if Yoke shoots threes tonight. You know, those are the types of things I'm curious with. But I'm with you, man. A lot of people talk about Utah like they really love what's going on there, and I watch them, and I'm like, same as you. I'm like, they're on 2 timelines. I don't know, man. I don't know. The one thing about Lauri Markkanen is, barring injury, his value is going to be the same next year.
Totally.
Probably the year after as well. So they probably feel like they can read the market and read their team before making a move, but eventually I do expect them to do exactly what you said, which is to turn the 7-year window into a 9-year window. That's how you keep your job.
Yeah, you're right. That's really it.
You're Danny Ainge, you're looking at this and going, if I push my chips in, I better make something out of this core in 2 years. Nah. Keep these picks, man. I keep telling them, dude, we're going to be so good in the 2030s.
Yeah,
Look
at
these picks.
We're 3 years away from being 3 years away, man.
Let's talk extensions now.
Let's do it. Let's do it now.
Look how many picks I got.
It's that time, everybody. Time to get rich. Open up the Bet365 Never Ordinary Sportsbook app. Turn your full attention over to Superstar Dev.
Denver comes in this game as 12.5-point favorites.
Ooh, that is sweet music to my ears.
Belt to ass in this game. And it probably will be. It's a lot of points. I really don't think that the Jazz are horrible, but they're not good. Tonight, no Markkanen, they're pretty horrible. Denver, minus 17, 12.5. Let's just take it. They're going to blow them out. Yeah, they're going to blow them out. They're bad.
12.5? I'm not taking that.
You should take it.
Usually I'll listen to that, but I can't do it.
I'm going to go over 228. The reason I'm going to take it, Denver's going to score a bunch of points. They're going to score whenever they want to. If you look at like how Utah's been playing, they've been allowing teams that don't even want to score a lot of points to score a lot of points. I think Miami just scored like 128 on them or something like that.
Under's been hitting.
Unders have been hitting in the NBA. Against Utah, not so much.
Okay.
I'm going to go over 228. I like Denver over 120 points for a team prop. This is a get-right spot for a lot of players on Denver against a team that's just daring you to light them up. Challenge accepted. For Utah, I'm going to go over 17.5 points for Clarkson. He gets to have the ball in his hands. He gets to shoot it without no regard. He's going to like that. He's going to.
Do you like this one, Eric? Clarkson? Would you bet it?
Yeah, no, because I operate entirely off of vibes. But if I had financial troubles I was looking to fix, I would do. I
didn't say it was a
in
lock.
that case, all right.
I didn't say it was the lock.
Okay.
But I can't bet that way. But
I'm gonna go John Collins over 9.5 rebounds.
Really?
He's been rebounding the hell out of the ball lately. Like they put him in a lot just for those type of situations where he could just get the boards. All right, on to Denver's side of things. For the 3-pointers bet, I'm going with MPJ over 2.5 3-pointers.
Okay. He let me down last game.
Denver has to be frustrated with how they shot the ball last game. They make 4 threes.
It's terrible.
That's insane. Like, we're used to, like, everybody getting in on the action.
It was disgusting. All they had to show for that game was a most
win?
impressive victory over one of the most difficult opponents. I was disgusted by it.
Yeah, I think that they're going to get right. I think they're going to knock down threes. So I'm going to take him over 2.5 threes. I'm going to take KCP over 1.5 3-pointer.
I love this bet.
Like him. Like it.
Real quick. If you're taking that bet, there is a prop for this game that they just have built in, and it is a threes bet. KCP, Murray, and MPJ all to hit 2 threes. If you like that, you get plus 210.
It's going to hit.
You think it's going to hit?
It's going to hit.
All right, I'm betting
Why are you
it.
questioning the man? Bet it.
I was just making sure I
Be
heard
quiet
right.
and bet it.
It's going to hit, though, for real. Let's go.
The bet boost
Jamal
right there.
over 22.5 points.
Okay.
He's been on a heater. He is. And they don't have defenders like to slow him down. He's going to be able to score when he wants to. He's been scoring when he wants
Jamal
to.
wasn't very good in that last game. I do feel like
This is a get right spot for him,
All right,
too.
all right.
This is a get right spot for him, too. I like AG to get over 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's coming off of a monster rebounding game.
Okay.
Man.
And I think he clears that. He cleared
He's
the last
been
game.
dunking
Gonna
so
do-
much
And
lately.
he's dunking. They're going to be able to find him for a lot of cuts.
Yeah.
Utah's defense are just not aligned, and you can't do that against a Jokic-led offense. It's
Points, rebounds, and
it's
assists.
rough. Yep.
Okay.
The defensive bet, I'm going to go with KCP over 1.5 steals. He just had 3 last game. I think he follows that up with a couple of steals.
I like that
of his
bet a
own.
lot.
For the lock.
Oh, let's
Here we
get
go.
to hear it.
Fine, I can wake up and listen to what he's saying.
There hasn't been a Jokic bet yet.
There's 2 of them in this one. We're going to go with Jokic. Triple-double.
Oh, you
Okay,
know I'll
why
take
not?
that.
That's going to happen.
Twist my arm.
It's going to hit, which means that there's over 9.5 assists. That's easy. But I really do like Jokic over 21.5 rebounds plus assists. It's pretty much the triple-double with just like 2 extra
You're right.
things.
You're right.
He could get 12 rebounds. He could get 12 assists. That's easy. And he's going to have it. And also against Kessler, like I really do think he's going to work a little bit harder than just like let's mail it in. So I like both of those bets.
I think he has to take some jumpers tonight. Honestly, I think he's going to have to get some jumpers in. You
taking
guys,
threes?
what's that?
You taking threes?
Hold
Jokic
on.
threes?
Real fast. Was Jokic on the injury report?
Yeah.
he is. He's
For
probably
his
with an arm.
arm
injury.
slash
We just
elbow.
know how these like type of spots go where they're like, hey, his arm is really affecting him. He's going to get all the rebounds. It's really affecting him. He's going to get all the assists. And it's like, no, I just didn't feel like shooting the ball today. I'm going to just get everything else.
Yeah.
Peyton Watson steals plus blocks 1.5. I'm taking it. I think he plays a lot of minutes.
And we're going to be there? Yeah, we got to take that.
I think he
We
plays
have
a lot
to
of
take
minutes
that one.
tonight. As Malone played starters a lot, you probably try to go to your bench a little bit more and play them extended minutes. And then you guys know the one I have to do, just because
You already announced it earlier.
I already
and
announced
you
it
do
earlier.
And you lose
can't
this
be a
bet
liar.
every game. Why would you?
No way, I've won it several times.
Okay, all right.
Plus 125, Christian Brown hits 1 3-pointer. I'll be at Ball Arena going nuts when he does
Holy
it.
smokes.
Just kicked out of press row.
Kicked out of press row. They're like, you
is
can't
that
bet
guy?
that hard. I was like, you don't understand.
For
I
not
was
only
betting
cheering,
on
but
it.
No, yeah, it's not what you
It's
think.
not what
I
you
bet
think.
on
I'm
it. I
betting
bet
money
on
on
it.
it. All right, that does it, guys. We're going to go hang out with the homies. Party bus night, takeover night. So you know what that means. It's going to be a very special Saturday night at the DNVR Bar. Hit that like button for us on the way out. See you on the other
Let's
side.
go to Ball Arena.